Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday night, so it must be the Rock Your Life weekly get-together, board meeting, team call, I don't care, whatever you want to call it. I am JoJo Bennington, and Lisa is hanging out with me as my co-host tonight. And just got back from UIA yesterday, and it was an amazing event. Like, for real, seriously, it was maybe the best UIA I've ever been to. Really starting to not only include the skills and the steps, but just really showing the possibilities and easy to break down numbers, just good stuff. So I would recommend, if you have not been to a UIA, look where the next one's going to be and get your booty there. So tomorrow, so you guys know, there's the Isogenic Zoom for the new Healthy Living Guide, and there's also something special happening tomorrow. Something special is coming out. So if anybody's looking for a holiday treat, it's showing up tomorrow. Next thing, New Year kickoff, you guys. Holy God, it's going to sell out like any second. So if you do not have your ticket, I will tell you this. With what the feedback we've been getting and the things we've been hearing and all the stuff that's coming, you want to have your butt in the seat in Phoenix in January. So don't miss out. Don't call me and say, I didn't get my ticket and there's none left, because they are going to sell out. I promise you. So, and it will be soon. So get those tickets like ASAP. So I will just, without further ado, I know we want to do like one really quick gratitude, but I'm going to leave that. I'm going to make an assigned gratitude tonight, because I'm going to give that honor to Amanda. But just so you guys know, Dave and I started chatting. This whole thing kind of started brewing about, the company said we were going to start having more business conversations. We wanted to take and double the amount of people who were actually sharing and building a business this year. And so the only way for us to be able to do that is to show the numbers, so people understand the simplicity of what we do every day. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in the waiting for somebody to have a product experience, and we can sometimes look at somebody and know they need the product, but we can't ever look at them and see bankruptcy written on their forehead, or the fact that they can't send their kids to school, or can't pay their medical bills, or who knows what it is, but we can't see the financial struggle. And so we owe it to everybody, because we have such this amazing vehicle. We know how amazing it is. It is really our moral obligation to share both sides with them. If we hold back because we feel like they may not be interested, then we're making the decision for them. We want to let them make the decision. So we just tell them the whole story, and they get to pick the chapters that they want to be a part of, right? So it's absolutely pretty simple. So Amanda has done such an amazing job of enrolling, and she's got all of these people that have become involved, and it's the piece that we're missing was really showing them the possibility. And so that's what we've been doing. And so Dave stepped in and has been mentoring us and helping us along and doing amazing compensation plan Zooms. And so what we want to show you guys is what we've been doing and the possibilities of where it's going. And Dave's put this amazing leadership training together. So Amanda, I would just want to give you a second to obviously throw some gratitude to Dave, because I know that's what you want to do. And just give like a really quick testimonial on what you've been seeing changing in your team just in the little short time we've been doing this.
Okay. So first of all, yes, Dave coming into my life 2 weeks ago was the most amazing thing that's ever happened. And I think it was just like a blessing for me, because I was missing so many things with my team. And it's not, I don't think that it's that I haven't been taught that. I think that I was just overlooking it in some ways that he explained to me that really just hit home for me. So basically I was being a pretender and I was just posting on Facebook and thinking that that was going to build my business. I kind of thought, you know, your people will do what you do. So, of course, I was signing up a lot of people, but I wasn't being a leader and I wasn't showing people the right way. So, three-way calls. I had never done a three-way call until 2 weeks ago. That has changed so many things for me. And scheduling the appointment right after the three-way call, and introducing the business in the compensation plan to someone has been huge. So yeah, I feel like I totally missed that, and I totally disserviced my people for 3 years, because I've enrolled 250 people and I was too scared to tell them about the compensation plan, and we're really missing that. So, and I didn't realize how important a three-way call is. That shows your people that they don't have to do it alone. So that's been really important.
Awesome. And so you are really seeing, and not only it's just the new people you're bringing in, but you've gone back to your existing people that either have fallen off or you had never shared that with, and things are starting to transition because people are seeing the vision, right?
Yes. And just since I've picked up the phone, because I've never done that before, I totally had to get out of my comfort zone, and I picked up the phone. I called all of my people that I owed, that I had already signed up, to, you know, show them some more about what I missed. And it was like 2 calls into it. I was so uncomfortable my first 2 calls, and then I was just so fired up to call the next person. And I think I called 50 people in 2 days. And we had a lot of people show up, on 32 people show up.
That's massive action. They're good for you.
Yeah. And when you feel good, when you start actually, yes, putting it into action, and I never understood what that meant. I heard people say that, you know, you've got to put it into action. And when you do it, you realize what that is, and it feels so good. And then people just start coming from everywhere, and it's just pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And so gratitude to you, Dave, for stepping in and kind of steering the ship in the right direction. And so what we want to show you guys tonight is what Dave's put together and what we've been doing to teach this really simply, because the principles are simple. We just have to show people. So Mr. MacArthur, mechanic to millionaire, brother from another mother, thank you for everything you do for us. And I'm going to just hand the reins over to you, because I hope everybody has pen and paper, because you're going to need it. Thank you. I'm handing it over. It's all you.
I saw that, Paul. Right back at you, right? I mean, this is like we're all in this together, and, you know, as one, and we couldn't do it without each other. I would just want to say a couple things leading into, you know, what we want to go over. This is part of what I want to go over. Amanda has been showing up, right? And you didn't like not do any of that on purpose. You just weren't shown. So it's not like you were spitefully or weren't taking advice and saying, you know better. It was that you didn't know that you didn't know. And you take somebody who's going to do the work like you do, and then you start getting the right information and the right mentoring on the level that we've been doing it and that you've been doing the work. Man, I'm telling you, it isn't going to be long before you've created that lifestyle of freedom for you and your family and for other people as well. So I just wrote while you were talking, maybe it's just not feeling comfortable with how, because you haven't been shown. And it's a unknowing mind that becomes paralyzed. But not only does it become paralyzed, you just don't even know that you don't know that you're not doing it that there's even a different way of doing it. So as soon as you saw it, you were teachable, you were open. You didn't say, no, I don't think Dave's got it right. I'm going to keep doing it this way, or I'm going to keep doing it the way somebody's saying how to do it on YouTube. and you're only getting little bits and pieces there. So all of those modules, you've watched all of those leadership modules that I put together. And that's not an easy thing to do. I think I said on the last one, if you made it through this module, congratulations, because they're not entertaining, but they're full of principles. And it's the principles that have lit you up, Amanda. It's your understanding that you now have because of the time and effort and energy and focus you put into the material to study. Right. And that's what's, been a process. So all we're going to be able to do is just share with you a little bit, but those leadership modules are there for anybody to watch. And if you watched the first one and you thought, cool, I watched it, and then you haven't watched any of the others, Amanda's watched every single one of them. And we've gone through and we've talked about it. And it's been a process of that learning and then applying it in the application. And that's doing the push-ups. I'm excited, but my excitement can't be excited for you guys because I can't transfer across that nonverbal stuff that comes from truly understanding and experience. And so there's a few dynamics that we can't leave out in sharing this. And one of those is that you've seen a way, Amanda, in this you've seen over the last 3 years that you can coach people on the products and they get amazing results, and you're an awesome coach, and making sure that you're following up, but you still lose those people, right? They turn their auto ships off. And you guys, if the auto ships aren't staying on, then there's no freedom. You've got to have, a certain percentage of those auto ships staying on. And what I found is the same thing you did, Amanda, is that I would change people's lives and they would turn those auto ships off, stop using the products. So I didn't even have to teach you that. You already came with that already experienced. And as soon as I started to share with you some concepts and some ideas, you immediately saw that's a better way because you've been doing the work. And so you experienced the ups and downs and the ins and outs. And so it's not hard to convince somebody who already sees, this on the same level. So I would just say that, Amanda doing the modules and we're following up, and I'll follow up with any of you guys that are doing modules. In fact, we want to turn this more into a team thing where you guys start doing these modules and we start doing some leadership training like we have with Amanda. So let me just see if there's anything else here. So it's been a process. This is not a thing where you're going to get on this call and you are now like Amanda because she's done the work that you guys haven't done. And I'm not going to say that you won't do that work, but I'm just telling you, she's watched the modules, and in those modules, the answers are in there. You just got to listen. You got to think. And a lot of people don't want to think. They would rather be told what to think. But that's not how Amanda is. She wants to think. She wants to critically think. She wants to reason things out. She wants to reason and see where the correlations are and how they could be better. So now one of the things I have to share the dynamic. Let me share my screen. And some of this stuff you guys have already seen. Now, Amanda, one of the things that was missing for her was some coaching. She didn't have somebody mentoring her on the level that you need to be mentored in order to be going down the right pathway. So for 3 years, she's been figuring this out on her own. And so my hat is off to that. And, the mental fortitude and internal, commitment and not giving up, that's huge for 3 years. And enrolling, I haven't even enrolled 250 people, you guys. It's just that I was shown early on how to build a massive organization, what principles to teach to people. And Jimmy Smith talks about it. George Wees talked about it. Lenny Evans talked about it. They were my mentors. And I listened to everything they said. Now, I've got to share this part, and you guys can do what you want with it. You can say, okay, that's another option for me, or maybe I'm going to try it this way, or whatever the case might be. You've got to figure out how can I take these principles and apply them. And I'm not saying they have to be exactly the same way I am, but today is my biggest week I've ever had. This second center is going to be maxing out in pretty soon here. So that's a clue, right? When I go through the presentation, I want to bring things down to the lowest common denominator of what a person has to do to get results. And I want those results to be profound, though. So a lot of you know that I'm the product B guy. I'm the isogenesis guy. But that's not just because I'm playing favoritism. There's a business strategy for me doing that as well. Make no mistake about that. There's a business strategy for me doing that. But also, I know that that's the single greatest product on the planet. John Anderson said it's the greatest discovery. And Dr. Gabriel Cousens said it's a breakthrough into a whole new era. In fact, I just got a text today from a guy that had a stroke, and he's not been able to speak very clearly, and he's not been able to move his muscles. So the whole nervous system has been turned off in this guy, and he's a networker. He opened the Asia for Amway, okay? Big player in Provo. But he's not done it now for years because he's just been out of the game, and he had a stroke. And this gal, the daughter, she came to a meeting I did in Provo. She was crying. She started crying. She went out because she couldn't contain her emotions from the science behind this isogenesis, right? So I just got a text. And let's see. It's a little group text, and we've been going crazy with it. Just talked to my dad, and he said, "I'm talking more. I can't believe it." And then down lower, she said, "And he really is. He's speaking more clearly and fluently and quickly. So grateful and excited." This is less than like 2 weeks, you guys. The miracle of the human body and what this does right here is I just don't even know what to say. So what we do, now you could take this product, you could take the E-shots, you could take the shake. What I'm saying is, when you start somebody out like this, which is what you've been doing, right, Amanda? You've been starting people out on the packs. Same thing I did when I got in. And I know I want everybody on every single one of those products. I take them every day. Why wouldn't I want everybody else to take them, right? But there's a strategy to introducing people to health and wellness. And the best strategy is not to throw everything at them at once. You've done it for 3 years. I've done it for 3 years. I would see people's lives that I changed, like I saved their lives. And they got every result they were looking for and more, and they stopped ordering that product. Okay, so there's a whole paradigm thing that goes along with that. I'm not going to go into that. But here's two testimonies right here. You've enrolled 250. I got a lot of people on the products, right? So what I'm going to show you with the compensation plan, I want you to just kind of keep that in mind just as a preface. And I'm going to jump into this, and here we go. So this is a principle of building the business, and I've showed everybody this on like in phases, right? So the first phase that I've shared it with was on this level. So let me drag this down. So every presentation I show this at the end of showing the products. So I'm going to go through this just like you guys were at the presentation. And you saw this in Provo, right? You saw me do the presentation, right, Amanda? And then it was just a regular presentation. What did you think when you saw that presentation? What were some things that were going through your mind?
I mean, I've always had a lot of people that I knew I could help, but this was just so much bigger. And I just realized all of the people that, just how much more retention you could get with this, because I've had so many people dropping off on the packs and they can't maintain the $300 a month. And so, yeah, it was huge for me, and just the life-changing stories that people had was amazing.
Yeah, and so when you're doing the modules and learning the leadership and you know, gaining those skills and that understanding of a higher level leader when it comes to the business side, you had 32 people on a Zoom last night that you went back, and your leadership ability got them to get on that Zoom because of the way you articulated things. it wasn't just what you were saying, though. It was the nonverbal things that were being communicated, even over the phone, right? The way you're saying it and the energy that's coming through. That all comes because she watched those modules and she internalized the principles and has now made them a part of her. It's still a progressive process, but you've already done that. So some of the people you texted me something that somebody had said right after the presentation, because we did my presentation on your Zoom last night, because there are so many that aren't even taking isogenesis. They didn't even know what it was. What was one of the texts that you sent to me last night?
So,
from somebody that was already in isogenics.
yes.
And I see this as I go around the country and people that aren't on my team come to a presentation.
So I just want to say that my phone never stopped after that Zoom call. It was nuts. Everyone was ordering.
My husband's like laughing in the background. He's like, yeah, it was.
It was awesome. So one of the messages that kind of stuck out was, oh my, that was almost unbelievable. I've already changed my auto ship. That goes out in a couple of days to include isogenesis. So excited to see what happens. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So you take that simple, easy to take product in comparison to a pack, really cheap, right? Really inexpensive. And that's the kind of reactions I get all over the place. Why do you think I go out and do so many presentations, you guys? Because I get that reaction. And then it's backed by the product. It's literally producing results like I just read to you. And so here's what I show after showing that science. And this is what I showed to Amanda's people last night. So it's $29 to get your membership. And remember, most of these were already in isogenics, if not all of them. And some of them have stopped their auto ships. So $29 to get started. Everybody becomes a customer and you get to buy the products at wholesale. And I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity because I was changing people's lives, but I wasn't making any money. I was getting the products from the person that I had gotten them from and giving them to the people that, were at work. And so I said, I want to do the business, but what do I need to buy? I thought I was going to need to buy inventory, right? And they said, no, you've already ordered 100 BV. And you guys know this, so I'll go through this kind of fast, this part. But this is how I set people up in the very beginning, the very first conversation, somebody that's coming to learn about the product. I'm planting this seed, and this is something that Amanda had not been doing because she wasn't mentored on how to do it, and to talk about it felt uncomfortable. So what we kind of do is we think, well, they'll call me when they're ready to do the business. You guys, if that's how you're approaching your business, don't, okay? Let me just say it that way. And ask some questions, and let's start mentoring you as to how you need to do it, how you can choose to do it. So 100 BV, and I explain what 100 BV is, the 2 bottles of isogenesis or whatever products you want to use, and that I was already ordering over 200, so I enrolled my wife and my brother-in-law. I became a consultant, and I started getting paid 6% on everybody. And then I give Cindy's example. She started with isogenesis. It totally changed her neck. She was thrown out of a dune buggy as a teenager, and in her late 40s, she can't even move her neck. She goes to the chiropractor 1 to 3 times a week, and she's taking medicine, pain pills for her neck. She gets on the product. She doesn't go to the chiropractor anymore. She can move her neck further than she ever could, and she doesn't take anything for her neck anymore. So 28 years as a home health nurse, 14 years in another company. And before that, she was in Amway, where she never made any money. But in the other company that she had been in for 14 years, she was up to about $800 to $900 a month. She could make on average about $800 to $900 a month. And she gets in isogenics, and in less than 2 years, she's retired and she's doing isogenics full time now. In less than 2 years, you guys. So in 1 year, she had enrolled 25 people, but she had 950 in her group. We start people with isogenesis or isogenesis and shake, 1 shake a day. That's how we do it. So in less than 2 years, she's retired, and they just bought their first home, has a swimming pool in it. They're on Facebook, she's throwing the ball in the backyard into the pool. The dog's jumping in, getting it, and jumping it back out. And she says, this is my office this morning. Far cry from being a home health nurse, where they had to do paperwork the next morning. So following this system. So we show people this in the beginning, right out of the gate. And now as soon as we recognize, like Amanda said, we do a 3-way, then we want to do a Zoom call immediately. And we do the Zoom call to go into deeper training, and this is the deeper training. So I'm going to go through these slides here, and if you need to take notes, take notes. But you're really going to want to learn this and go back and probably watch this, several times and get to where you're not only hearing it, but you can understand it and you can write it out and explain it. Okay, then you understand it, and then you'll get excited, like Amanda got excited. She had already been in Isagenix for 3 years. I had been in Isagenix for 4 months, and I was doing presentations until I really got this. I couldn't sleep for 3 nights. So just because you're in doesn't mean you get it. Just because you've been paid on cycles, you know how the cycles work, doesn't mean you get it. So one of the most powerful words in the world of business is network. The richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. 2 things here. Networks, those people are wealthy, and everybody else is trading time for money. So the way that Amanda was building this was trading time for money because she was enrolling everybody. She wasn't getting other people to enroll lots of people. So she was more like a salesman in a network marketing company. That's not how it works. Don Fela, in this book right here, the 45-second presentation that will change your life, he said 100% of people outside of networking don't understand what networking is. And 90% of people inside network marketing don't understand what network marketing is. 90% of people. So that could probably cross over into Isagenix. 90% of the people in Isagenix don't understand what network marketing is. They don't understand the principles. They haven't internalized them and made them a part of their actions. So here's a little bit on what Jimmy Smith was teaching. Jimmy Smith said, Dave, just teach everybody the power of 2. And then they showed me a penny being doubled for 30 days, right? So 1 penny, you double that, that's 2 pennies. And then 2 pennies doubled is 4. 4 is 8, 16, 32, 64. You guys know this, right? So at the end of 15 days, we have $1.63. At 20 days, we have $5,000. Over the next 10 days, it geometrically progresses to $5 million. That's the power of compounding. And our Isagenix compensation plan does it. That's why Jimmy Smith said double a penny for 30 days, because you can do that in our Isagenix compensation plan. If one person shares it with 2 people, they get paid on all of these people. The BV, they get paid on all of that BV. So if those 2 people share it with 2 people each, then that's 6 people in my group now, and I'm getting paid on 6 people. The 4 aren't getting paid because they haven't shared it with 2 people yet. So you got to teach them. Share it with 2 people. Now the 4 are getting paid, and they brought in 8 people into my organization. Now I'm getting paid on 14 people. And you just follow that through, right? So let me show you that with the Isagenix compensation plan in just 15 days. Let's double a penny for 15 days. So we have the 1 penny turns to 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, $1.28. If I gave you $5 million right now, or you took a penny doubled for 16 days, but transfer that to the Isagenix compensation plan and 2 bottles of Isagenesis. So everybody's ordering 2 bottles of Isagenesis, and we're going to do that on 16 days, 16 levels. Would you take $5 million right now in a briefcase, or would you take what you're going to get residually from Isagenix for the rest of your life at 16 days or 15 days? So 256, 512. How many people just came into your group? Now remember, 64 people shared it with 2, and so we have 128. On level 14, those people just shared it with 2 people. On level 14, how many people joined your business in 1 day because all of those people shared it with 2 people? Think about that for a second. How many people joined your business in 1 day, and nobody did anything more than you did? All you did was share it with 2 people.
Does anybody have the answer?
Somebody wants to unmute or type it in, and I'm not looking at any of that, JoJo, so you tell me if somebody types it in or if somebody wants to unmute.
Am I cheating?
Go ahead and share it with them, Amanda.
16,384?
Yeah, 16,384, not 163. It doesn't work. It's 16,384 people joined your group. And nobody did anything harder than what you did up here. Your mind wants to trick you and make you think that this is impossible. but it's no more impossible than it was for you to hit consultant. How many of you hit consultant? How many of you were talked into, convinced, or on your own admonition enrolled 2 people after what you were shown? Now imagine being shown what we're going to show through all of this, okay? I did it with somebody today. We did a 2-hour Zoom training with somebody who is on fire, and they haven't even been in a week yet. So, okay, so let's just say 2 bottles of isogenesis. You wouldn't even hit the end of the 13th level and you had maxed out your center for more than $50,000 a month. Simple. This is what Jimmy Smith says. Just show them the power of 2. Teach them what 100 BV will do for them at the power of 2. Everybody just sharing it with 2. So this right here, the principle is I'm doing some things that the wealthy do. And I've never had the opportunity to do what the wealthy do before. I was an employee and I had my own business. I had my own automobile shop for 3 years, and it cost me a lot of money. It was a big risk, and I spent more time at that shop than I ever did as an employee. In fact, I slept at that shop because I was there till 10 o'clock at night, and I lived an hour away, and I had to be open at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm the one that's going to open the shop. So I just slept there. I didn't take vacations anymore. If I wasn't working, I didn't make money as a business owner. And your employees do not care about your business like you do. They just want to be paid and they want to have as many days off as they can. So I went back to being an employee where I had to get a paper out and deliver newspapers every morning and then fix cars at home at night and still didn't have enough money to get through the month. That's why 95% of people retire broke. That's called the left side of the quadrant. The right side is you have so many employees, they're making so much money for you, you don't even have to show up. Your employees have managers, and those managers have general managers, and those general managers have CEOs, and you're paying them all a little bit on a salary, and they're taking care of things, and you get to go off and live your life. I could never do that. I couldn't start a Walmart, a Staples, or a Home Depot, or a Office Max, or any of these, right? And so I never had the opportunity. There was no way I could have done that. That's why it was the rich always getting richer. They could develop leverage like that. And they could go to the fine universities to learn how to manage a business like that and hire the right people. So Paul Zane Pilzer, another article I read that I was told to read called The Perfect Storm of Opportunity. Google that, The Perfect Storm of Opportunity, and read that PDF. He said, there are going to be poor to middle class backgrounds who become millionaires, and they're going to be able to do what the people on the right side of the quadrant do without having to have the upstart, the upfront capital to start a big business. They'll be able to do it in network marketing. And so for $29 a year, you guys, you can now do right here. I just showed you what you could do through the right leadership, through the right education of your associates. Help them dream and then accomplish their dream. Trust me, you'll have yours as you do that. And you can now do that. It's called intellectual distribution. Just teaching people, giving them the value of what you now know, and then let them run with that and run with them, right? So I went from being an employee to not employed anymore with Isogenics in 4.5 months. Now I had to keep building my business because it wasn't growing on its own. But in 17 months, 16 months, it was growing on its own. So I had gone to the right side in 16 months because my business was growing without me. I was gone for a week on a cruise, and I didn't even have phone service. So that was the best week I had had at that time. So only 5% get over here. But you don't have to be rich anymore. You don't have to be privileged. Anybody can do this if they choose. Everyone is not going to do it, but anyone can do it. Those who choose to do it. It's open to everyone, but not everybody's going to do it. But anybody can do it, right? So this is leverage. It creates profits, and profits are better than wages on the left side. 95% of people retire broke because they're trading time for money. So what does that look like? There's 24 hours in a day. These are all different things that I've learned over the years and that I read and that I studied and that I was trained on, and I'm putting them all together. The reason I did it this way over the next few slides is because I was thinking about what is it that's really created the philosophy for me right now? What is it that's caused me to train people the way I do and to move them forward. And these are pieces of a lot of different dynamics that I'm putting together. And there's still others that, you know, I don't have in here, but I'm going to suggest to you. A lot of them are in those modules that I have on YouTube now. So one day has 24 hours. If you times that by 7, there's 168 hours in a week. That's night and day. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is 168 hours. How many of you could work 168 hours? There might be a few of you, but when you go to do that again the second week, you'll die, right? If you didn't die in the first week. That's no sleep for an entire week. Try doing that for 2 weeks. You can't. So we try to work as many of those hours as we can. As an employee, one person, I would fix cars all day, but the shop is only open so many hours a day and so many days out of the week. So if you're one person working 40 hours, that's all you're going to get paid. At $10 an hour, you'd get $400. Well, that's not enough for me as a mechanic, so I got a paper route, and I got up at 4:30 every morning, and then I'd work at night from about 6:30 till about 10 o'clock at night. So, you know, a good 16 to 18 hours a day. Still wasn't getting enough money, but I was working as many of these 24 hours every day as I could. Now, here's what the wealthy do on the right side. They hire 10 people, and they get them to work 40 hours a day for them. They pay the employees $10, but they're charging the customer $90. So 10 people working 40 hours produces 400 hours. That's the impossible for this person right here. This person, there's no way they could squeeze 400 hours out of 168. The employer figured out how to leverage their time, how to do the impossible. There's no limit. Just hire more employees and this number would go up, right? So why do you think Walmart makes so much money? How many tens of thousands of employees do they have, right? So here's the thing. Network marketing gets a lot of people to do a little. 40 people working 2 hours a day for 5 days, it's still going to produce the same 400 hours. So these people have an extra 6 hours a day to do whatever they want. They're only working 2 hours a day, but it still produces the same bottom line. So what Cindy did in 1 year, she had enrolled 25 people, but she had 950 in her group that she's getting paid on. She's down here somewhere, right? She's down in this area. And if all those people are, if a majority of more of those people are staying on the product and on auto ship because they can and they want to, because they're not overwhelmed, it's not a lot of money, and they're getting amazing results, and they understand what that product's doing. If more of those people are staying on the products down here, look what that's doing. 950 times 10 hours is 9,500 hours if we're using the same model as this up here. Look at the difference in hours that are being produced. And they're only working 2 hours a day, but it's 950 people. That would be more like owning a Staples in a couple different cities around, you know, a couple different states. I'd imagine that would take quite a few Staples to have 950 employees. But you don't have to own a Staples. You don't have to have that upfront capital to do that. You need $29 and you need to teach people. So, and you need to teach them this so they'll go out and keep working and keep their auto ships on and add more people to this. So if Cindy was at this at 1 year, how many do you think she's at 2 years when she retired? So look at the bottom line, $95,000 compared to $4,000, and people are doing less work. Okay, so these are some principles here. It's called leverage, and then you also have passive and residual. All right, so if we go through this, we just did the same thing that I was just showing you. This is what Cindy did, right? This is exactly what Cindy did. And you can see the difference in the numbers. There is no comparison. You guys, I make in a month, I've like almost quadrupled what I used to make in a year because of this. And nobody's working super hard. Nobody's working 8 hours a day. Nobody. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. So if we build this out, you guys understand the comp plan. This is your this is your group. This is the genealogy of your group and what happens. This is a realistic thing. So you enroll 2 people, you're a consultant. And what I did is I went back and I started enrolling the people that I got the products for, but I didn't enroll them. They loved the product, so I went left, right, left, right, left, right. And as I was teaching everybody what it means to be consultant, and then training them on the principles one-on-one, and then doing little super Saturdays and things like that where I could train people as a group, and I did a lot of webinars, these people started doing it. And I helped them. I was there to mentor them and to do three-way calls with them. And what happened is this person starts training this person. And when this person's team orders product, it was coming up and paying me. That's passive income. That's leverage. I'm getting paid for something that I didn't do anything. But I did do something. I trained people. Taught them the value of what they had, and they understood it. I trained them to where they understood it, and they got into action because they were excited. Just like Amanda's getting into action. She's always been into action. Now she's just shifted a little bit what those actions are. A little bit scared at first, a little bit of fear because of the unknown, but you step through it. Isn't it fun now, Amanda, doing three-way calls and calling people? Yeah, it's like one of my favorite things to do is a three-way call. That's how I've gotten some of my very best friends, some of my biggest business partners. It's through the three-way call. So you guys know the volume comes up. I don't know that I need to go through this, Jojo. I mean, how far do I need to go on how you cycle? Are there people on here? Everybody understands what a cycle is?
No, I think it would be good to just recap it really quick because I think there are a few people that don't totally get where a cycle comes from.
Okay. So as long as you're on auto ship and you're ordering that qualified order of 100 BV, then you collect the volume. So when this person right here orders, let's say everybody, I did it right with everybody on my team, and they're all on auto ship and they're all ordering 2 bottles of isogenesis. When this person got enrolled, everybody got the BV, the business volume. Everybody's getting paid on that. Even customers that are just using the products, they're getting paid on it. And as long as they maintain that 100 BV and the auto ship, it just keeps accruing the volume. It doesn't flush out. You don't start over. And so it just keeps accruing. So when this person got enrolled, his volume comes up and it adds to the volume that's already in there. So there's 19 people over here. Let's say they all ordered 100 BV. That means this person would have had a 1900 BV come into their right bank. These just represent people who have their own accounts, these little silhouettes. So they have their own website, they're ordering products in their own home. And you can look at your downline and see everybody in your downline, right? So 1900 BVs there, there's 17 people over here, we'll just say the same thing, they all ordered 100. A cycle is our commission. Every time you get 300 and 600 in BV, you're gonna get paid a cycle. Now, yeah, there's more BV in a value pack, like 300. So you would cycle faster, but if they're not ordering 2 months, 3 months later because they turned the auto ship off, then that doesn't do you any good. It's not passive anymore. You've actually destroyed the principle of passive income. You want people to stay on auto ship. And it doesn't have to be a lot of BV. If they're all ordering 100, and you keep having people being added to the group who are ordering 100 even at their startup, what would you rather have? People who start out with 300, but they keep dropping off? Or, Amanda, could you imagine if everybody was still ordering 100 that you enrolled? You guys, you would be at freedom right now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I have one thing to say. So last week after you taught me this, I had a president's pack already signed up that day, and I called her and said, because I knew she was overwhelmed. I knew that was a lot of money for her, and I called her and I said, let's just do this simple. I could tell that you were really overwhelmed. Let's do the isogenesis and 2 shake canisters. And she's like, yeah, that would be awesome. So we did it. She got her package today. So she gets her package today, and she messaged me and she said, I want to make them protein balls. So I just ordered another chocolate canister and I want to cleanse. So I just ordered a cleanse bottle today. The day her stuff showed up.
Yeah.
So
that's what happens. Now that happened really fast for you, but that's what happens over the long run, you guys. And that's why I show the shake, and that's why I tell my story. I'm planting the seed up front, but I'm not overwhelming them on the close. And that's awesome that you actually went back. There's most people that wouldn't do that. Why? Because of greed. It's kind of, and I'm not saying you're being greedy. It's just that you don't understand the principle of 100 BV and people staying on auto ship and that progressing out like a penny being doubled. So you know you're going to have more chances of people staying on 100 BV, right, Amanda? I've already been told by the company that my retention is way higher than the company average because they looked at that on my reentry. My auto ships, I have a way more auto ships that stay on. So you're now starting to conceptualize that and you're saying, oh, wow, I wish I had known this 3 years ago, right? Where would I be? But it doesn't matter. Everything you did has perfectly prepared you for now.
Yep.
So it's kind of like the McDonald's. How many people go to McDonald's every single day and they keep going back? And McDonald's makes maybe a nickel on that hamburger or whatever it might be, 15 cents. But when you add up all the people that are buying those, that's a lot of 15 cents, right? We could do even better than McDonald's though, because McDonald's is only opened at one location so long and there's only so many people that are going to visit that location. You have unlimited potential for how many people are, like I have 300,000 people, I hit 300,000 people in my organization last week. There's no way they could serve 300,000 people at one McDonald's location. But I can, through my account, like wake up here, you guys, and like, you know, smell the roses. So 300 and 600. Every time that happens, I get paid $54. They're going to take the 600 from whichever side has the most. So I can go 600 into the right side more than I could the left side. 3 times 600 is 1,800. So I can do that on the right side. And can I do 3 times 300 on the left side? Yep. So you would make $162. There's 3 cycles sitting here. So we'll subtract the 900 and the 600 3 times and leave the remaining volume. Now this time the company's going to take the 600 from the left side. No other companies figured out how to do that, or maybe they just don't want to do that because it's very generous of the company to do that. So what's got to happen is there needs to be some more products ordered on this right side. Now, because sharing isogenesis with people is very easy, there's no coaching, this brand new person is going to enroll 2 people. They don't feel intimidated. They don't feel like they need to coach how to do a cleanse and how the cleanse works and why would you take ionics and why would you spend $300 or $400 on this pack. They don't have to do that. It's very duplicatable. So a new person way down in my downline just enrolled 2 people and that volume comes up and I cycle again. It was only 200 between the 2 of them, but 200 gave me another $54 because I have a lot of people that are ordering. So subtract the volume and wait for it to happen again. That's your Isogenics business model. So I know how they teach it from the company. I know they teach PIBs. You guys, I hit number 13 income earner in the company as a consultant. I've been in the top 25 for the last 8 years as a consultant. I've made over $10 million as a consultant. You're getting your PIBs. Woohoo! Have you made $10 million yet? You guys, I'm being kind of like over-exaggerate. I'm not over-exaggerating. I'm just kind of being like in your face, right? I want you guys to get this. No PIBs, but yet I've made $10 million. And it's going to be $11 million next year. And we're changing people's lives and they're not getting off the product. And they're joining the business and it's changing their lives financially. I had somebody, Alex, you met Alex, Jojo, in her first month with isogenesis and a shake a day, made $4,000 in her first month. $4,000 in her first month. And she just got a bonus in the director pool. So she's about to go executive. And she has somebody in her team that's already gone manager and is working on becoming director now. And she met her the morning I came out to her house to do a presentation on isogenesis. She met her at the store that morning. Came to the house, did a presentation, and she's working on becoming director now. So this is duplication at its finest. And what happens is, yes, people start building up their ISA pantry over time on their own when you bring them into the culture. So that's some leadership skills, though. And you're learning those. You've already got a lot of those leadership skills, Amanda, right? But through the modules, you've learned some other very valuable leadership skills, some principles. You've internalized them, and now they become a part of what you do, right? So let me share with you guys here one more slide. You take Janie, Sean, and Kelly and Tyler. Janie's been in 7 years. She's had 4,000 conversations. She's personally enrolled 200. So that means 3,800 people said no to her and 200 said yes. How many became top producers in her downline out of her personally enrolled? 6. 6 people are building the business and they're going for it. They're doing it. They're making money. What was Janie's top month? How much did she get paid in 1 month? $82,000. How many people are on her team? 45,000. Wait a second, I thought she only enrolled 200. Yeah, but Isagenix pays you on everybody that comes into your group. Those are just the people that Janie brought in. How many did these 6 top producers bring in? How many conversations did they have? How many people did they enroll? How many top producers do they have? That's all showing up right here. How many people in her upline were enrolled in her downline down here? And on that domino effect goes. How many top producers do they have? How many top producers do they have? Isagenix is generous enough to pay you on all of that. Sean, 7 years, 5,000 conversations, 202 top producers, 58,000 in 1 month, 99,000 people in the group. Kelly and Tyler, 4 years, 2,700 people they talked to, 200 they enrolled, 12 top producers, 199,000 in 1 month, 68,000 people on their team. Tracy O'Malley, who was going to commit suicide, had it all planned out, single mom, lost her help, gets on the products. You know the story. Now she has something worth living for. Help other people to feel how I'm feeling. And let me change my financial situation for me and my family with these products that changed my life. In 2 years, 1,000 conversations, 90 people personally enrolled, 5 top producers, 126,000 in 1 month. In 2 years, 18,000 people on our team. You guys, me and Carrie, in 10 years, over 10,000 conversations. Now that seems like a lot of conversations, but you times that, you divide that into the amount of days, that's barely 2 people a day, 2 conversations a day. 150 people personally enrolled. How many top producers? 1. That I personally enrolled, 1 top producer. Biggest month at that time, 90,000 in 1 month. And that's off of cycles. No bonuses like you're seeing over here, you guys. That's cycle pay. 200,000 people in our group. We put in over, not me, but my team's put in over 100,000 people in the last 3 years. Took 10 years to get to 200,000, 3 years to get the next 100,000. It's gonna continue to grow geometrically. It's gonna be less and less and grow faster and faster. So that teaches the principle. I know we've gone a little long on your weekly call, Jojo. I'm just gonna toss it over to you, see if there's anything else you want me to share, but I'll let you close it out here with your last thoughts.
No, that was amazing. You know, that when we talked about that our best product, the best product that we have in the company is what?
100 BV, Jimmy Smith taught me.
Why is that? So explain that. So when somebody says 100 BV is our best product, what does it do?
Well, 100 BV, you guys, is going to qualify you to earn this kind of money right here that we're looking at. It's going to qualify you to get paid on all of these people and earn this kind of money. It's going to give you freedom. It's going to give you more money to buy more products. 100 BV is the best. It's not a product, but it is our best product. because of what the possibilities are in a person's life when they order 100 BV.
It also replaces meals. So if you do a product B and 2 canisters of shake, it's also replacing meals. So not only is it giving financial freedom, it's also replacing meals. So when you look at both sides of that, and then you look at the power of 2, so 2 by 2 by 2, you can't tell me that there's not 2 people that you know that won't see that and have that light of fire under their butt, because they're out there. Somebody's going to see that and go, I totally get that. I will invest 100 BV a month. That's my best product. I'll invest that every single month to have this amazing business and share with 2 people. And to have those 2 people share with 2 people, I guarantee you we all know 2 people that can see that vision.
Yeah. And it's tax deductible. I don't know if you guys know that, but your 100 BV is tax deductible. Your groceries are not. And you want to be able to understand the principle. I would get this book, the 45-second presentation that will change your life. And it will teach you the principle, but it'll also teach you how to teach people. And then I would watch those modules and study them. Don't just watch them. Get your notebook out. Go back to school. Go get you a Peachy. Do they still make Peachies? Go to Walmart and get a Peachy and get your 3-ring binder and go to school with those modules. They're going to change your life when you understand those principles and internalize them. So you've got to be able to teach this to other people, not just understand it yourself. And this book will teach you how to do it on a napkin at lunchtime. What's a Peachy? You might have to be a little bit older if you remember.
Wow, you don't know what a Peachy notebook is? The little ones with the come on, for real?
I lived in Italy for a really long time, though, so that's my excuse.
It's just a little folder that had pockets in it, and there was like all kinds of athletes. Like it was,
and everybody drew on it, and you had all. Yeah, it was just
trapper keepers. I had a trapper keeper.
It was like a trapper keeper. Yeah.
Dave, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I say we, like East Coasters, don't get the benefit of being close to you where we can drive people to your presentations. So doing, because I've heard this time and time again, and we talk about getting that belly in your fire. And so I want to do those isogenesis presentations here on the East Coast. How do I do that?
Okay, so I don't live by Malcolm. Malcolm lives in Reno. So let me just show you what Malcolm's doing. He is, let me go to YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel, for those of you that don't know. That's where the modules are. I've also been posting them in the team Facebook group, but they get pushed down and you won't see them anymore. When you go to YouTube, you go to Mechanic to Millionaire in YouTube. And then you'll see my little logo here. Just click on that because that will just narrow it down to just my videos. Whoops. Not sure what's wrong with YouTube here right now. I'm not going to click on that because that messed it up, but you'll see all my videos. You'll see this, most of them are mine right here, but if you keep going, it won't be. There's a 14-minute isogenesis presentation. See, has all of these videos from all kinds of people, but let me just see if I can. Let me try clicking on this one more time. Just narrows it down. It's not going to do it. There's a 14-minute one. You'll see it. It says 14 minutes, right? And he sends that link to people to have them watch that. Okay. And then when he follows up with them, he has me on the phone with them or somebody else that's going to be that third-party credibility. He's got several people that he could work with now from his team and help them understand through that third-party credibility on a 3-way call. Okay. Amanda, go ahead.
Thank you.
It's the 14-minute one you'll look for is named Telomeres and Aging.
Telomeres and Aging. That's it, yeah. So it's 14 minutes. It gives them enough information to be like, wow. And people sometimes just say, I'm ready to get going. What do I need to do? But if there's that third-party credibility or the 3-way call, you've got to figure out, okay, who am I going to partner up with? Because I can't handle all the three-way calls coming in, but I'll handle as many as I can. And you just text me or JoJo or, you know, somebody who you decided you guys are going to do it this way, and you play upline, right? You play third-party credibility. And then the compensation plan. I have those videos in there too. You can study them and you can send them those videos, how to go to consultant and what that means, and consultant machine. Or if I can, we'll do a Zoom. We'll start doing team Zooms where we train people, you know, instead of, you know, like just like we're all gathered together here, we'll do a team Zoom. So I would say you utilize me as much as you can, you know, and what I can't, then you just, you know, what's your alternate? What are you going to utilize? But I want to help you guys succeed, and you guys wouldn't believe it, but I have a lot of free time. So that's the process. And as a leader and getting to that leadership ability, you need to become that leader for your team, right? So this is not a free ride and you're getting somebody else to do the push-ups for you because you don't think you can do it or you don't have the courage to step into it. Amanda didn't want to make phone calls. In 3 years, she had never made a call, and now she's making calls because she said, I'm going to rise up, and she understands the principles of leadership, and she's stepping into that. You know, and just telling you to do it's not going to get you to do it. You got to understand the principles of why you would want to do that. Talking about behavior doesn't change behavior. Anybody that has a teenager, you know that. Talking about behavior and why and telling them they need to change their behavior doesn't work. Watching the modules will get you to change your own behavior and step into some of these things you've been putting off. That's how leaders become leaders. Leaders are readers, and readers are leaders. They learn things, they internalize them, and they become a part of their value system. Okay? Anything else, JoJo?
Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to add quickly? Because I know we went really long, but I thought this was so important to be able to show you guys that, you know, and Dave works with, you know, 2 bottles of product B or product B and 2 shakes or product B and a cleanse and a shake, whatever it is. But if you want to work with, you know, 7 boxes of e-shots, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's 100 BV. Piece that together however you want to. We want people to have results. So that's why we love working with Isogenesis. But if somebody just needs to replace, you know, their Gatorade and we're going to do it in hydrate, or they just need to replace something, all we're doing is helping them transfer money they're already spending on coffee to our coffee. They're already spending the money. Why not
show them how to get paid?
TV?
Show them how to get paid with doing that.
Right?
Because just getting them the coffee alone isn't going to do it. And they're not going to say, okay, how do I build a business with this now? You have to be proactive as the leader. Mm-hmm. And if you think you're going to offend people, I offended all kinds of people when I opened my automobile shop. In fact, I had offended the mall because I put a flyer on every car in the mall, and they called me up and said, next time you do that, we're going to charge you to come out and pick up all these flyers out of our parking lot, right? But it didn't stop me from putting flyers on people's cars. I had to in order to get the business. I wasn't worried about offending people. So, you know, you just got to get over it.
Do you see the simplicity? We go to work to make it so hard. Mm-hmm. Right? All right, anybody have anything? One person, hop in.
Was that an aha for anybody? Shake your heads if you're like, you see something a little bit differently than you did before. Yeah, that's a lot of bobbing heads. I love it. Yeah, bubble heads. Bubble heads. I love it. Awesome. And what we'll do, and we'll continue this out. We'll do some leadership calls, and we'll go into some other things to really, you know, not just make this the one thing, and now you got to go figure it out and analyze it on your own. I'll get with JoJo, and we'll start now forming up a way of where we can do some leadership calls.
And, you know, what I would love to do is do the, you know, the maybe we drop the ball on you call, where we bring everybody back in and show them this and go, you know, maybe I didn't explain as much as I should have, or I waited, you know, for this product experience, but I didn't show you what our best product is. And just, you know, say my bad and let's show it again. And some people will grab it and some people won't, but You know what, you guys? It only takes one person to take this and run with it.
Yep. Okay, you guys, I'm out of here.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Dave. Big kisses, everybody.
Thank you.
Go rock your life.